know several farmers, was raised in agriculture, so my father was a farmer, my husband is a farmer, and all of his family, so I know lots of farmers.
Yeah, several, I guess. I got aunts and uncles that are farmers. My grandpa was a farmer. I don't know much about it because I don't do that.
Our parents were farmers. Our children are farmers.
Well, I have two sons that are farmers. I was a farmer.
I do know a farmer personally. My grandfather, who is actually 79, has been farming his entire life and is still farming. Right now he farms about 80 acres.
My dad's a farmer, my grandpa's a farmer, all my dad has farming friends. We know people from all across the nation. We have friends who live in Wyoming, who live in Nebraska, Nevada, all over the place. So we're pretty diverse with who we know and who's a farmer.
Extension, 4-H.
Okay, so there's ag business in the sense that, I mean, if you work at John Deere in the parts department, that could be agricultural job, or if you actually work on a farm and you manage livestock, as in cattle or pigs, or if you're actually the one who's out harvesting crops, those are all agriculture jobs.
A butcher.
A job in the agricultural related field, which is probably very unique, is probably food science, which most people probably don't associate with farming or with ag, but it's the entire process. So bring the food from the farm to your table, and the food science industry takes part in that.
Veterinarian and producers.
And grain merchandiser. Grain merchandiser is the guy that a farmer calls if he wants to sell his crop or see what the price is ranging, if it's dropping in the market, or he also watches the Chicago Board of Trade, which is also related to the grain market.
Farming. A farmer.
Seed seller.
Obviously farming is related to agriculture, but a lot of people overlook all of the people that work in the communications and public relations industries. So any like publicizing that's done, any like brochures, things like that, everybody always overlooks that, but that's definitely connected to agriculture.
Feed guy at Tractor Supply.
Tomato picker.
Best paying agricultural job could be an agricultural attorney, or maybe it's a veterinarian or a food scientist.
I think research. When you research farms and they come up with a good idea, why? And universities do a lot of research. All helps the farmer.
I'll say farmer, but I don't know, they always mind they ain't got no money, so.
It must be farming. Y'all got new tractors.
Farmer.
Probably something in like the business industry, or maybe like a sales type position where you're working with agricultural equipment and products, but not necessarily on the farm.
Probably the best paying agriculture related job would have to do with seed genetics, biotechnology, that crop science, where they're biomedically engineering the seeds so that they can produce the best yields.
$6.56.
2 pennies.
Bushel of corn worth is $6.43.
Num 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 num.
A bushel of corn? I have no idea.
Bushel of corn probably right now is around $6.50 or so a bushel.
It's a tough one. They're normally about 89 cents or so, maybe. $1-ish? Don't know.
Maybe it's $7.
A bushel of corn is worth approximately $3.50, $4, depending on the markets.
Family owned little store.
means the ability to sell the commodities that are raised by our farmers on either a cash basis or on a futures market.
Shopping.
Market, I think of livestock, taking them to the stockyards and selling them, but I mean that can mean advertising any product for the use of either consumption or for use.
Like a place where you go get vegetables and fruit.
That's where they buy and trade grain and futures and all that good stuff that I don't know nothing about.
Markets is how much a bushel of corn, soybeans, or another agriculture-related product costs, depending on like supply and demand, and obviously then the markets.
Ethanol? They take corn, they ferment it, and it's less than, you can't drink it, but it's real close.
It is a fuel generated from corn.
Is that a drug?
Ethanol is extracted from corn and it is used as a motor fuel. So it's a part of the seed that they extract that they can use to power certain engines that usually use fossil fuels.
Ethanol is a gas made out of corn.
Ethanol is ethanol is moonshine that you put in your car. When it comes right down to it, because that's exactly what it is. It's an alcohol distilled from corn.
Goes up.
It goes up.
It goes up.
Goes up.
Goes up. I know that one, but supply and demand.
The price goes up, and they bring it in from Mexico.
$100%, just, yeah, I mean, if without agriculture we don't have food, and without food we don't have people, and without people we don't have communities.
Yeah, it affects my community. Without it, there'd be a lot of people without jobs.
Agriculture is a big effect on my community because I live in a rural community and there's lots of producers in the area and a lot of jobs that exist because of those farmers living in that area.
Yeah. They take up most of our land, so that's most of our community.
Agriculture definitely affects my community. I grew up in a small town, and so everything around us is connected to agriculture. In Ohio, I think it's like 1 in 6 people work in the ag industry, but in my community, it's probably like 1 in 4 or 1 in 3.
Yeah, because I live in the middle of the cornfields.
Every single community, whether it is rural, because that's the way of like our living. I mean, my life is out there in the fields. If my dad didn't work out in the fields every day, I wouldn't get fed, and neither would everyone else. Urban communities definitely don't recognize that they're being impacted. Even vegetarians think that just by not supporting agriculture that they think that they can get by, but what they don't realize is that farmers are the ones who grow their fruits and vegetables too. So just because some people think of agriculture as killing innocent animals, it's not. I mean, there's so much more than just raising animals or having crops. I mean, it's everywhere.